Yeah, at least we figured it out.
Yep,
All right,
Are you ready?
here we go.
yeah. Call to order, this Board of Education meeting. Time now is 6:37. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to make a motion to move into executive session for the purpose of discussing any legal matters and personnel. Is there a second? Mr. Garcia, all in favor?
6 in favor, motion carried.
Thank you.
I'm now 7:30. We'll reconvene the public session of today's meeting. Everyone, please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to turn over to Dr. Stanford Superintendent's comments.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this evening's meeting. Tonight is Thursday, November 14th, 2024. So it's a special time of the year always during the month of November. And I'd like to bring to your attention that it is Board of Education Appreciation Month. It's celebrated annually during the month of November here in Plain Edge. I want to take this opportunity to thank all of our Board of Education members for their dedication to a first-rate education for all students. In appreciation for your unwavering support, I'd like to extend my personal thanks to each and every one of you on behalf of the children, staff, and families of Plain Edge and at public schools. And at this time, I ask everyone, please join me together and put your hands together for recognizing the hard work, effort, and dedication. Also very special tonight is at this time, it's important to recognize a very special Board of Education member who recently retired from the Board of Education after serving for over 2 terms in the Plain Edge community, Mr. Sonny Spagnolo. Sonny's support of all programs in our schools includes his unwavering support for the needs of special abilities children, both in and outside of his role here as a board member, as well as all students. And his family's nonprofit organization, Rocco's Voice, with a mission to support families with autism, is a testament to the strong values and commitment and love of all children Sonny and his family have for everyone today. Please join me and put your hands together as a sign of appreciation with the Sonny Spagnolo. We wish you luck in all his future. Capital projects update. I'd like to share with the community where we are today. One moment, please. This evening we'll talk about the high school gymnasium. High school gymnasium is scheduled to open on Monday, November 18th for use by students. We have our flooring, bleachers, wall padding, basketball backstops at current all installed. The electrical work is complete at this point in time. We have a number of punch list items that are still pending out there, which would be the ceiling needs to be given another coat of paint, but that's going to take us another 6 to 8 days out at this point in time. So we're going to wait to a better time so that we don't negatively impact getting students back onto the ports themselves. We also have doors are on order. Won't interfere with the opening. Sound system is going to be put in hopefully in the month of December. But we have alternate plans for sound at this point in time that'll fill the actual gymnasium. So we're really happy about this. It looks really, really, really beautiful. And the work came out excellent. So we're excited about that opening. High School Music Suite, as you know, that's a year-long project approximately. It started this summer. I can report that the interior walls are framed, currently insulating and hanging sheetrock. The floor slab was poured last week for the addition, so if you drive out there and you take a drive by, you'll see it. Steel arrives in order to erect the building starting on Monday. So we should start to see rise out of the ground sometime the end of next week or the following week. So we're excited about that. And then they'll begin, they obviously want to move as rapidly as possible to seal the envelope, the building itself. So you'll see walls going up, you'll see roofing. So we can continue to work through the winter. Windows are on order. ETA on those is still to TBD. So we're waiting for feedback from Arrow on that. So that's where we are with those 2 projects. We are going to be going out to bid for the high school generator system, which is been in the works with the New York State Education Department's approval as well as the architect. So that's going to hit the street soon. And that's what's next up inside the queue at this point in time. That concludes my announcements about capital updates at this point in time.
And Dr. Slino?
Yes,
Moving on to section 3, routine approvals. We have a motion to approve the minutes of October 17, 2024 Board of Education meeting.
So moved.
Mr. Marcy, second. Mr. Pascarello, all in favor?
Okay, 6 in favor, motion carries.
Motion to approve the warrant reports 34 to 36, 38, 40, 42 to 44. So moved. Mr. Garcia, second. Harris, all in favor?
6 in favor, motion carried.
Motion to approve the treasury report from September 2024. Mr. Morrissey, second. Mr. Garcia, all in favor?
All in favor, motion carried.
Moving on to section 4, discussion and communications. The first one is the New York State Computer Standard Digital Fluency Pre-K to 12 Roadmap Presentation.
Okay, at this point in time, first of all, I'd like to thank the staff for being here this evening to present this. I actually saw this at a conference. Luckily, it was nearby here at the Hilton Hotel, so I was able to drop in. It was Educators Technology Conference. We received a number of compliments from some of our fellow educators. Actually, we had 3 parents from the Plainedge community that actually were in the session that came up to me after and just said, you know, I'm so impressed on the things that we're doing. And I said, you know, we really need to share this with the Plainedge community to let them know where we are. And that's kind of why and how this came about. And I'll ask Dr. DiPaola and our stream team to present tonight and talk about some of the wonderful things that are going on and what's going on in the area of computer science at this point in time.
Good evening. Before we actually present the computer science and digital fluency roadmap, the stream team would like to come up. They actually have exciting news and information they'd like to share with you, and then we'll get back to our regularly scheduled program. So if I have the 3 of the members come up there, and then we will continue.
Good evening. You want to start? So, New York State Computer and Technology Education, NYSCATE, is a major organization in New York State that functions to improve computer and technological literacy throughout the state. It's comprised of educators, leaders, teachers, administrators from across New York State. And a team of us here in Plainedge, in, I don't know, maybe September, October, saw that they had a call for nominations for Superintendent of the Year. Every year they give a Teacher of the Year, a Superintendent of the Year, and there's one other one. They give 3 awards every year. So it's missing me for right this second, but
And the superintendent award focuses on the innovative use of technology to enhance learning.
so we put it together. It took a big team, and we thought, you know, Dr. Selena is way deserving of this award, and amazingly, he was selected as the Superintendent of the Year for NYSCATE for 2024. So we just want to quickly explain, we think why he won. So for those who know me, I've been here for 25 years, and Dr. Selena has been my superintendent for more than half my career. And when he came here, the technology in Plainedge was an absolute disaster. When you save stuff, you weren't sure if it would be there the next day. Many times, we would log on and teachers were like, oh, internet's down today. And that was pretty much an every other day occurrence. The technology that teachers were using was a hodgepodge of things that they brought from home, some stuff that they learned from school, communication. Some teachers used the phone, some teachers used a web page, some teachers used email, some teachers used Excel spreadsheets to share information. There was literally no coordination with how teachers communicated with parents, how the school communicated with the community, and there was no ability for an educator to rely on the technology in the district. Like I said, it was a hot mess. When Dr. Selena came here, one of the first things he did was start to unify and coordinate all the different platforms that we're using. Like, so today you're all familiar that every teacher in the district uses Google Class, right? every teacher in the district, for the most part, uses Parent Square. This is not by accident, right? This requires immense amount of vision, leadership to get us to the point we are today. I have the utmost confidence, and I know I speak for, and you all know that I'm the president of the union. I speak for all the teachers when I tell you that the teachers in this district have the utmost confidence in technology today. And that is not possible unless you have a leader who's willing to take us to that point. So I would like my colleagues to speak a little bit about the other things that Dr. Selena has brought here in his long tenure. And I know a lot of you also realize it's very, very unusual for a superintendent. The average lifespan of a superintendent in a district, about 4 to 5 years. So, being here 14 years, he's been able to make an incredible impact that I know my colleagues will discuss.
Yeah, so to add on to that, from a student perspective, I was grateful to have been a student here in Plainedge and now an employee. The change that has been seen at the student perspective level has just been so immense over the last 14 years. About 15 years ago, the extent of technology programs in high school was a web design class and a computer networking class. And that was about it. And it has expanded so much so that we now have a digital photography studio. We now have a TV production studio. There are STEAM labs at the elementary school and STEM labs at the high school for students to do, different biomedical things. And there's a lot of different facets of technology where students are able to learn, grow, and incorporate these tools to take them into really exciting careers, great paths for careers, college, and beyond. And, from a teacher perspective, the opportunity that students have had in some of my courses have brought them to SNY, NBC, ABC, and really high profile, Google, really high profile places because of the programs that exist here that did not exist here 15 years ago. And the technology such as one-to-one devices that students can utilize is really beneficial to incorporate, to enhance all of the education that's already happening right here.
I'm also the Teacher Center Director as well as part of our STEAM team. And as you know, our mission statement in Plainedge is where everyone achieves. And Dr. Selena is really just a collaborative, visionary leader who really supports that mission for his students as well as his staff. And I'm just going to share a couple examples, but they helped, support the essence of what the award was, the type of candidate the award was trying to find. So on day one of teachers onboarding at summer during our New Teacher Institute, you can see Dr. Selena's commitment to innovation and also just, unity amongst his staff. He greets everyone. He lets them know right from the get-go that he welcomes new ideas, that his door is always open. If it's good for kids, it's good for all of us. And assures them like they were hired for their talents. Although they're starting day one, maybe it's their first day teaching, they know things that we don't know. We weren't in college, last year, and that we all have something to contribute to Plainedge. He further, continues to show his support for ongoing learning for staff by supporting our teacher center. We have workshops after school, during the summer, sometimes during school as well. We also have just a plethora of digital tools, like Perry and Kevin mentioned. I'll mention a couple more. We have some that promote creativity, such as Canva and Bloxholes. Canva also is a tool used in careers, so it helps our students who are using it from, I've seen second graders using it on up, and it's a tool used in the workplace now. In addition to having uniform tools for the staff and the students, he also realizes that things need to be differentiated as well, and some people do have special needs. So for example, if a student needs an augmentative communication device, that's what that child gets to help all of us succeed. He welcomes, like we said, just new ideas constantly. A few that we've seen come to fruition were just support for Best Buddies going to Times Square, having their videos showcased on the billboards, having concerts streamed from the music department, so grandparents who might live out of state are able to participate in their grandchild's musical endeavors. And of course, support for our STEAM program that just really continues to grow and evolve. We have an amazing assortment of robots, 3D doodlers, a 3D printer, as well as unplugged activities like qubits and other building materials that the students use. So we're really just excited for Dr. Salinas. It's an amazing accomplishment and recognition.
Very much.
And we have a certificate just to symbolize the award that you will be receiving at the Night Skate Conference at the end of November, which is attended by like hundreds of educators across New York. Kevin and I have had the opportunity over the years to go to the conference. It's really like an amazing opportunity.
Yeah, there's
So
much-
congratulations, so well deserved.
I just. You know, the room that we're standing in, the ILC, the Innovative Learning Center, was actually a vision of Dr. Selena to have this space where students can come, the board can come, classes can come, workshops could happen, learning could happen, where we could have these different screens, different areas, sound system, and so just really that visionary leadership has really brought Plain Edge up to a whole new level.
And I'll just say one thing, and I promise to say it, when other leaders come here to this district and they see what we do technology-wise, they're always like, how? How have you done all this? And I say very simply, takes a leader with a vision. So,
Well, I'd like to thank you all for nominating me, and I am honored to be recognized by all of you. That's a true testament to my ability as an instructional leader to see what's going on around me, listen to what people are sharing. I always told people I was never bashful to go and see anything anywhere in the United States and bring it back here and make it our own. So many of the things that are here today were not designed or invented by me, but they were ideas that you, the educators, took and ran and basically gave it life to. Because remember, I don't really teach anymore these days. I have the luxury of being able to watch the programs evolve and to get to work with incredible people like yourselves, who basically give it life, and to have a teacher center which offers over 60 classes, which I call the Plain Edge way, the way that we do it here. I've worked for a long time in this industry, and I've been in a lot of different school districts over the years. And the fact of the matter is that my job is to enable all of you to do your jobs on a daily basis, to make children's lives better, to teach them life skills and how to move forward. And I am proud to be your superintendent every single day that I'm here. And I'm thankful for incredible professionals, supportive board, and a supportive community, which on an annual basis continues to approve the things that we're looking to do as a group. And I am truly honored to have won this and become superintendent of the year. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Dr. Selena.
Thank you very much.
The three members that you just saw had come to me earlier today and had told us about this recognition, so that's why, and it just is fitting that our presentation today is about the New York State Computer Science and Digital Fluency Roadmap that we have here. So what I'm going to do is ask the entire stream team right now to come up, and I will introduce all of them in case you don't know them, or I'll let them introduce themselves actually. But like Dr. Selena said, what you're about to see here was presented by this team at a local conference over the past month. They go to conferences yearly, at least twice a year, to present things that we do here, and educators constantly are contacting us to come here and visit to see all the amazing things that our students get the opportunities to have here. And it is thanks to this group that you see behind me, because they are out in the field doing all the hard work and executing and implementing it. So without further ado, I'm going to go through and let them introduce themselves and where they are. So
I'm Debbie Palin. I'm the assistant to the STEAM team in the 3 elementary schools.
Kevin White, I am a CTE teacher at the high school, and I do travel as a STEAM specialist to the elementary schools as well.
Eileen Santoro, I am the STEAM specialist at East. Samantha McHugh, I'm the STEAM specialist at Shorty. Alexa Stoll, I'm the STEAM specialist at John H. West.
Barry Fuchs, I teach high school astronomy, planetarium director, and science elementary enrichment.
So they keep calling themselves the STEAM team, but we have now evolved to the STREAM team. Because in the middle school and high school in the past few years, we have added the R and to STEAM, which is for research. And we have definitely brought down that component even more so in the elementary level than they're all starting with service learning, and research is a big component of it. So it takes them a few times to get used to saying now stream, but that is officially what they are called. So let's start where it began. So in 2020, the New York State had rolled out the computer science and digital fluency standards. And so they gave us this big timeline. So what we decided to do is roll it out, build awareness with these standards and the timeline within our staff. Then in 2020 to 2023, we began curriculum writing, researching, inquiring additional resources, and developing professional developments workshops through the teacher in collaboration with the teacher center, that we knew that we had to get teachers and students to that point. So those were some of those workshops to gain interest, to build the momentum, to build the excitement, and kind of go slowly into these standards because they were giving us the time to roll those out. And then last year, what we decided to do is that we developed a computer science course that's aligned with those standards. We created dedicated roles, which you're going to hear more in depth. I don't want to steal everyone's thunder about what you're going to see in the next few slides. We're going to go into depth about that. And they really worked as a team to analyze the standards collaboratively. And then this year we are in full implementation in the grade bands K to 12. And just because the standards are K to 12 doesn't mean we stop there. We actually have rolled it to our pre-K, where pre-K students have those experiences as well. So it takes a village to make all of this happen. So, you know, with the support of the Board of Ed, administration, we have our elementary STEAM team, we have CTE teachers at the middle school and high school, we have our district librarians, we have a new instructional technology coach, which he is here tonight. Christopher Wenz is back there with us tonight. Computer science teacher that we hired. We have an innovation and sustainability teacher, and really all the other instructional staff, because as you're going to see, these computer science standards are integrated across all curriculum areas. So with the instructional technology coach, you know, he works hand in hand with all the teachers. He supports our technology integration K to 12, and he helps teachers with new and existing technology tools, professional development for them. He models, he coaches, he goes into their classrooms to work with them one-on-one with the students, and really having that one person too to collaborate between teachers, administrators, and not only with this team, like I just told you, the middle school CTE and high school CTE and the librarians were truly having this vertical, I don't know what that was. Vertical alignment and across the disciplines. It's just amazing to see all these different groups of teachers working together that they probably didn't even know each other until we started this endeavor. So it's really great to see that collaborative work. And sorry, like I said, sorry. I don't know. And the library media specialists are also, like I had said, involved in this endeavor. So what the team did was look at all the different ways which they already incorporate the computer science and digital fluency, and then how are they going to enhance and increase different opportunities for students. So now I'm going to turn it over to the team, and they are going to go into the specifics of what is going on in these classes and these opportunities and experiences for students.
So we just want to tell you a little bit about our stream team. So you just got to meet all of us. We have a co-teaching model where there's one stream teacher per building. We have different cycles where students come into the STEAM studio. In addition to the cycles, Kadoyo, media, greenhouse opportunities. And we really have a collaborative approach where teachers and students can learn together.
So as you heard, our program for STREAM spans from pre-K through grade 12. Throughout this presentation, we're going to share some examples of how STREAM is integrated into the elementary, the middle, and the high school level, with a special focus tonight on computer science and digital fluency.
Our STREAM experiences are guided by the New York State standards, especially the New York State Computer Science and Digital Fluency Standards, the Next Generation Science Standards, the ISTE standards, as well as the New York State Learning Standards, Science Learning. There are 5 components in the Computer Science and Digital Fluency Standards. Their impacts of computing, computational thinking, networks and system design, cybersecurity, and digital literacy, and they're broken up into different grade bands, K1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, and then 9 through 12. Since they're broken up into different grade bands, we thought a multifaceted approach would be best. We also look for opportunities to include these standards into our curriculum, as well as our clubs and our programs.
First, a spreadsheet was created listing all the computer science and digital fluency standards. On the elementary level, the STEAM team and library media specialists met. We went through the standards and decided which standards would be best fit between our programs. On the secondary level, the CTE teachers and library team met and did the same. We use this method to ensure that all standards will be fully implemented this school year. We also host community events that help reinforce these standards outside of school. Beginning in our universal pre-K program, students are introduced to coding. Students are introduced to vocabulary like commands, algorithms, sequencing, patterns, that is then built upon throughout their schooling up to those real-world applications you'll hear about later. We are so excited for our students to have access to Kudoyo. This is a program that helps build on their computer science skills at all age levels. Kudoyo offers online and unplugged versions, which are lessons that don't require their Chromebooks. Our students are super excited about this. They have their own logins that they're able to access. And we rolled it out with the Kudoyo kickoff. As you can see here in this video, our students came together. They learned how to log on independently onto ClassLink to Kudoyo so that they can access this program anytime, anywhere. And we're really seeing it come to life. Our students are coming back to us, telling us what they've done at home. They're choosing to do this, and it's really building on their coding skills.
So in the 20th century, and even before, we used to use for research projects, we have to go to the library, we'd have to get encyclopedias, we have to really dig for information when trying to find information. And professionally, personally, in the 21st century, it sort of just happened where just Google, it became a term that was used in every household across the country and even the globe. And so the world evolved and education evolved along with it. We taught students about how to find reliable sources online and unreliable sources online, and when doing research. And so the world we hear it's evolving again with AI. And we hear a lot about AI. And so Kudoyo actually has launched their own AI program, and it's EdLaw 2D compliant. That means is it actually strips out all of the user data, all the student data, so no student data is actually sent from their devices. And it provides a personalized learning experience. And so what we're able to do is actually put in a project, and students are able to go to AI instead of going to Google, and they can ask questions, and they will get personalized responses back. So what you can see here in this slide, can you please tell me about bridges and bridges I can work on this project? And this is just a STEAM bridge engineering design challenge that students can work on. It gives them some specific answers back, and students can actually question and interact with some of the answers that were provided.
Can we save the questions?
Okay,
to
save it.
the end?
Okay.
Because we might answer.
Okay.
Yeah, so teachers can use it, students can use it, and we're just piloting it right now in Plainedge.
And also a great thing about this, as well as something that's come to our attention, is that with you'll hear about it, the AP Computer Science class, that Kidoyo's AI component, since it is Ed Law 2D compliant, it will help students with their performance task for the AP exam, because teachers are actually not allowed to give feedback to their students while they are performing on that, but they are allowed to seek help from the AI, get feedback from AI. So it is a component that a lot of school districts are really excited about. So
On the next slide, I'm going to wait because it will start playing, but on the next slide, there's a video where you could get a glimpse into our STEAM studios and see some of the things that we are doing.
Welcome to the Blade Edge STEAM Labs. In just a moment, you will be transported to a land full of opportunity, wonder, discovery, and exploration for pre-K through fifth grade students of all abilities. Buckle up, strap in your seatbelts, and let's explore.
Hi there, I'll be your guide today to the Planet STEAM Labs. In Planet STEAM, we are great with opportunities that allow students to utilize their growth mindsets and own skills in critical thinking, communication, creativity, and collaboration. While the world is rapidly evolving, new skills are becoming job essentials for the future leaders of tomorrow in each of our STEAM studios. Each STEAM studio has 3 different spaces: the STEAM Lab, Student Greenhouse, and Outdoor Learning Space. In the lab, students have access to state-of-the-art technology like iPads, Chromebooks, drones, robots, and more. The flexible seating and furniture such as whiteboard table allows students to be students in ways that work best for them. Next, let's take a step outside the Planet's greenhouse, where student plants and minds grow. All students in the building have an active role in each of the greenhouse. Each year, they grow different plants. Depending on their grade level, they learn a little bit more about being botanists. Whether it's through pumpkin prediction in kindergarten or plant propagation in 4th grade, they are the botanists who keep the greenhouse running. Finally, let's head to our outdoor learning space, where we have benches for sitting, sails for shade, electricity for devices, and an outdoor demonstration station for sink and all. We also have outdoor garden beds where students plant water-forgiving vegetables and herbs. They learn how marigolds are friends and protectors of other plants, and how they each can be a marigold. Now that you've learned a little bit about our STEAM studio, let's blast off into some of the amazing things that happen here. With robots such as Bebop, Ozobot, Dash, Dot, and more, their understanding of sequencing, commands, and algorithms flourish. Using their programming skills, students often create programs that curriculum. Planet students begin coding right from pre-K and build upon their coding skills each year. In upper elementary grades, we have introduced a drone program where students can use their coding knowledge to take learning to new titles. Students also design their own video games and plots. They create storylines which include the development of heroes, villains, and the plot of the story. By using their imaginations, students bring down literature into the virtual gaming world. This is a great way to reach children with diverse learning styles using physical or digital blocks to create characters and settings. 3D printing is an integral part of our future, and we are so grateful to have access to our STEAM studios. Students are introduced to 3D doodler pens in the younger grades. They're great for beginners just looking at a 3D print. Students use the 3D pens to make shapes and letters. To culminate their 3D printing experience in the upper grades, students use a website called Tinkercad to create their own custom keychains. CAD stands for Computer Aided Design. Students are able to use their one-to-one Chromebooks for this project. Our students are not only being exposed to these various technologies in STEAM, but are also being guided to be the engineers and designers of tomorrow. They participate in multiple challenges that promote the engineering design process. This process encourages students to imagine, plan, design, build, and most importantly, improve their creations. Some examples of these challenges are the Bridge Building Challenge, the Pom-Pom Catapult Challenge, and the Goldilocks Chair Design Challenge. In addition, students in kindergarten through 5th grade are provided with a learning opportunity to explore technology tools and methods as they created different forms of media, such as digital green screen postcards in Canva and public service announcement videos in WeVideo. Each grade completed a media creation that roots on a particular character trait of Planet's Pride core values through a unique media program that targeted specific skills. Students share their final projects with an authentic audience, such as classmates, other grade levels, or even their families. Through this media period, students are becoming stronger digital citizens while developing skills for the 22nd century. Although you have just seen a wide array of curriculum, projects, challenges, and technologies, that is just a sampling of what happens in our STEAM studios. When students leave the STEAM labs, the learning does not stop. Our STEAM program continues to host several major community events throughout the year to strengthen the homeschool connection. In order to further develop the homeschool connection and take the STEAM experience outside the classroom, students traveled to the edge of the ocean. This immersive STEAM event took students and their families under the ceiling performers from the high school drama club and a video conference with a live scuba diver from the Texas State Aquarium to learn about underwater ecosystems. In addition, students have an annual robot connection for 3rd and 5th graders and a STEAM night that hosts over 800 students and their families in various STEAM-related workshops. Well, that's all the time we have for today. We hope you enjoyed this educational STEAM ride.
Okay, as you heard in the video, these are many of the resources we use regularly in our students.
Now we're going to go through some examples of how these new standards are being implemented in our STEAM program. Our kindergarten students are faced with the task of getting Ranger, our coding puppy, to the slide. So our students practice taking a big task and breaking it down into smaller steps. We encourage our students while they're discussing with their groups to use transition words like, first I need to go past the tree, then I need to find the ball. At the end of this discussion, we talk about the importance of taking that bigger task and not looking at it as a big task, breaking it down into those smaller steps. Our kindergarten coders are also practicing depicting a code using a special key. So each picture seen above has a corresponding letter. Our students go letter by letter until they identify all of the mystery words.
Our students at every grade also participate in engineering design challenges. So here students are participating in the 3 Billy Goats Gruff Challenge. It's a 3rd grade challenge where students work collaboratively to plan a raft that will hold a particular mass. And they choose different materials to use, possibly popsicle sticks, straws, pipe cleaners, cardboard. They then test their raft. And they have an opportunity then to go back and revise their design and retest if needed. We also encourage our students to be role models in Plain Edge and to promote our core values. Here, 3rd graders are being graphic designers as well as leaders. They're using the program Canva in order to design posters, which we displayed around the school, that really highlight one of our core values. And we use the acronym LEAD for Pride to help the students remember the different core values. So here, each poster is depicting a different core value. Okay, such as leadership, empathy, accountability, and determination. And you'll see classes as they, walk to phys ed, let's say, they'll stop and check the posters out as a grade and get inspired, hopefully, to show the values themselves.
Snap circuits are another way that we incorporate the new standards into our program. 4th and 5th grade students get the opportunity to make a model using snap circuits. They're able to watch the changes of the outputs as they change the inputs. And they are also able to change the amount of batteries, the way the electricity flows through the snap circuit. So they can really, in this hands-on experience, watch and see how circuits work. This also prepares them for the science investigation lighted up in 5th grade. We also introduced a new drone program. Students are able to take their learning to new heights. They use our tele-EDU drones that we have within our STEAM studios, and they use block-based coding to code them on iPads through the tele-EDU app.
So we always foster the homeschool connection. One of our main events that we host each year is Family STEAM Night. You heard a little bit about it in the video. We had over 40 workshops last year. 800 people attended. High school musicians performed. It was a fabulous night for everyone. Families came together. They spent time with their children, and then they also got to see different things that go along with our STEAM program. On a Saturday, right around Earth Day, we host the Student Earth Day Robot Connection. That's where third grade students come and code different robots such as Dash, Dot, Ozobot, Sphero, and we have all three elementary schools. So third graders from all three elementary schools come, they work in teams. We have fifth grade coaches that work with each team, and then also high school volunteers. It's really such a great opportunity for students to feel empowered and learn about coding and be excited about coding in the future. We also have our Edge of nights. So the Edge of the Arctic was our first one, where the Alaska Zoo came as a virtual field trip. The Plainage Planetarium also came and showed the Alaska night sky. We had Arctic themed centers where students could participate in those as well. The Edge of the Ocean, the Texas State Aquarium had a live scuba diver. We were able to ask questions. Students and their families took pictures in front of the green screen as if they were actually at the aquarium. This year, we're really excited for our Edge of the Arcade. So it's going to take place on November 25th. You could see in the video there, that is Kane's Arcade. Kane's Arcade inspired us to do this arcade in our fifth grade classrooms. Fifth grade students came to STEAM. They used engineering design process to make up their own cardboard box arcade games. So they use cardboard boxes, tape, maker materials. They used the engineering design process. They designed a game. They played their games. We actually had fourth grade students come in and got excited about next year. They got to try out the different games, and we're hosting a night event on November 25th, 5:30 to 6:50, if you would all like to join us. Pre-K through fourth grade students are able to attend and with their families play the different games and learn about the different games that the fifth graders created. So we're really excited about that this year.
So at the secondary level, there are multiple pathways for students to reach these computer science and digital fluency standards. So as you heard earlier on, a team sat down when the standards came out to see what do we do and what do we cover already and what do we need to start covering. And so we found that through different courses, this multiple pathways option, right, allows students to reach all of the computer science and digital fluency standards. So starting at Plainage Middle School.
Sorry, Lisa wasn't just.
So in grade 6 and 7, there is a technology course and a makerspace course that students take. So the technology course sort of takes what they learned in elementary school and builds upon it. It focuses on robotics, engineering, the engineering design process, and provides students with real world challenges and sort of understanding those societal benefits of learning these different things. The makerspace course then takes students and works with 3D printing, more engineering design challenges, and other hands-on projects to work on their problem-solving skills and help develop their engineering skills a bit more. So at Plainage Middle School, there is the Stream Wheel, where there are a bunch of electives that already have the digital fluency component in it. Things such as robotics, the Big Pitch, which is very similar to Shark Tank, environmental studies, innovation and sustainability. These courses all have things such as Canva, Google Slides, and all these different tools that we have implemented as teachers district-wide that already cover these standards, which allow students to take these courses and reach these standards that New York State is requiring students to know. So one example is the innovation and sustainability course. Middle school, just like the elementary STEAM rooms, the middle school has its own greenhouse. One of the things that they do is they do some photosynthesis. They learn about plant nutrition, sustainable gardening practices, harvesting and plant maturity, and designing and maintaining their own greenhouse. So students really are cultivating all of the plants and their mindsets inside of the greenhouse, and it's really amazing to see. But also they work in different stations in their classroom and in the greenhouse, and those stations promote collaboration, creativity, communication, and critical thinking, which is really, really amazing. So that we're able to take different facets and different skills and incorporate those standards into them. So at the middle school, 2 extracurricular opportunities that students have. One is the STREAM Club, where students have engineering design challenges, and they're able to work with friends, and they're able to sort of take these skill sets and apply them outside of the 40 minutes of a traditional class day, as well as the robotics club. There's 2 robotics clubs at the elementary school, and the middle school. One of the middle school teams actually competes with high school teams from Long Island. So they're really, really amazing, and it's a testament to what they're learning in class and that drive and ambition that they have to continue that outside the class. So the computer science courses at the high school, there are 2. So one, there is a computer science essentials course, which the purpose of the course was to address all of the 9 through 12, grades 9 through 12, computer science and digital fluency standards. So that was designed for students to take, starting with the 24-25 cohort, and the students are learning things like web design, cybersecurity, networking, graphic design, and students actually just this week completed in that course with Mr. Santa Maria, completed a cyberbullying awareness challenge through New York State and submitted their designs to New York State to see which will be, see if any of them will be the poster for cyberbullying in New York State, which is really, really amazing. And then AP Computer Science is another course offered in Plain Edge High School. As you heard from Dr. DiPaola, the new Kidoyo AI is actually able to help students with something called the performance task. It's a 9-hour app that the students have to create. They have to design their own app. And it's 9 hours they have to dedicate to it, and actually able to work with and bounce the ideas off this new Kidoyo AI, which is a really, really neat benefit to help them learn and grow. So our CTE department has a wealth of courses and opportunities for students to take, starting with business and computer applications, intro to mobile apps and games, virtual enterprise, computer science essentials. In virtual enterprise, students earn up to 6 college credits just for taking that class. All right, so that for those that have students in college or about to have students in college, being able to earn those college credits in high school is really, really amazing. And this year is the first year we actually have a college level Plain Edge TV video production course that students get 3 college credits from while learning how to use all the technology in the TV studio we have here in the high school.
And that was actually driven by the students. They took the first course of Plain Edge TV production taught by Mr. White, and they thought it was so amazing that they went to the principal and asked, can we have a college level class TV production? And through the collaboration of the central office and Mr. White and the principal, they were able to actually bring it to fruition.
That's true. It was an entirely student-driven course, which is amazing and shows the drive that the students have here in Plain Edge. So courses like web design, accounting, sports marketing, and also the internship program, which is very, very unique, where students are able to go out and try different and experience different fields that they are interested in, and they will gain some insight and experience in those fields. Now, beyond the school day.
So wait, I just want to jump in. So, as Mr. White just said, he did come to the Central and promote the students' ideas of that college course, and we're so happy that he put in the work. Because in order to get accepted for a college course in schools, the teachers have to write syllabi. They have to make sure that they're certified with the college. So it's really the hard work and dedication of our teachers. Virtual enterprise too, just so if you don't know about that course, a lot of high schools have virtual enterprise. However, when we had our curriculum associate come here and she's Ananita Klutzkin, she looked into getting college credit because she said, we're already doing this program, and she wanted to build upon it. And now our students are able to get the 6 college credits. So it's great that our teachers, our administrators, our students, they all want to find these opportunities for us to take what we even have already and enhance it to the next level. So it's a testament of everybody. So I just want to thank everyone for doing that.
And thank you. To bounce off of that, right, our esports club students actually are taking the teamwork and things that they're doing in games that they're loving outside and bringing them in and actually competing. The Video Production Club, talking about student-driven. For those that have watched, Plain TV does streams of concerts, all produced by students, of concerts, of football games, of district events. And the students actually approached us and said, hey, what if we had play-by-play announcing? And what if they thought of how to enhance the program? It's really all student-driven, and that just their passion just shines through in everything that they bring to the table. Our robotics team competes locally and nationally, going to St. Louis multiple years to compete in a national competition, locally Hofstra. Our internship program is second to none, with students going in so many different careers.
They have students doing internships at doctor's office, news stations, radio stations. We even have an intern now in our second year with the planetarium, learning how to code and essentially be a planetarium director. So any interest that the students have as far as what they might want to do as a career someday through the internship program, I think they do like over 60 students. It's a lot of students.
We have a very robust internship program here that other districts have actually reached out to me recently of how do you do this? You know, because they want to increase the opportunities in their local neighboring districts. They're like, how do you have this? What kind of teacher support do you have? So we're very fortunate here to have built this type of program that we have offered so many students.
And just today, currently, we are working with the 8th grade students, all 8th grade students, for them to experience a paper lab that was traditionally used on paper to track the height of the sun.
So one of the most, because I'm also an earth science teacher, one of the most difficult concepts in earth science by far, and the one where the students struggle the most, is celestial motion. Understanding the rotation, the revolution of the earth, the movement of the stars, the movement of the sun in our sky. It is incredibly difficult to do that on paper. And about 2 weeks ago, Mr. White and I met with the entire earth science team, and they asked us to create a lab inside the planetarium to demonstrate celestial motion to the kids so that they could actually experience it, not just see it on paper. And so within the last 2 weeks, Mr. White and I were coding this program because this planetarium has the capacity to run a program from code, which a lot of other planetariums can't do. So for instance, if you want to see the sun move across the sky in June at the North Pole, so in a lot of other planetariums, they actually have to manually do it. So we have the ability to code that. So we're just pressing play. Obviously, we're writing hundreds of lines of code, but we just press play and it does what we want it to do. So we met with them. We said, what's the hardest thing that you guys are experiencing with the kids learning? So we took it all down. We coded the show. We showed them what we did. And now we're actually doing the lab with all of the 8th graders. And I can't believe how much they're getting it. Like I said, I've taught earth science before, and I would never believe how quick they're getting these incredibly difficult concepts. And this is something that's very unique to Plain Edge. We're literally the only district on Long Island that has anything like this.
And sorry.
That's okay. We can take it around, so we can transport it throughout the district. So there was a show that the first graders were going to the Vanderbilt Planetarium to see. So Mr. White and I went to the Vanderbilt Planetarium with them 2 years ago. We saw the show. We said we can duplicate that. And now, instead of going to the Vanderbilt Planetarium, all our first graders see the show here. And we're also in the process of designing a show. So we have a show. When I say a show, it's a lesson. It's a lesson that's designed based on the New York State standards. So we have a show or a lesson for kindergarten, 1st grade, 3rd grade, working on 4th grade right now, and 5th grade. And we're going to do 2nd grade for next year. All of our lessons are all aligned to New York State standards. So we did a lesson on dinosaur fossils with an awesome video for the kids for 3rd grade, because in 3rd grade, it's all about, not all about, but one of the standards is to learn about dinosaur fossils. So it's really great that we have the opportunity to take these kids into this incredible learning space and show them things that a lot of them will never get the opportunity to do outside of Plan.
And really the amazing thing, one of the amazing things as part of it is that high school student internship where students can actually learn how to code, operate this planetarium and learn the language of the planetarium. And they can actually make, and last year have made, some of the planetarium shows that your students will see was designed by a high school student and through computer science and programming. So it's a real world application that really ties together that vertical alignment. Our Intel Advanced Research Program is second to none, with Mr. Bertolotti right there. Students choose a research topic sophomore year, conduct a study, and over the course of their high school career, they write a college level paper that gets submitted to many local and national competitions. They do data analysis and scripting using IBM and SPSS to really get that algorithmic and logical thinking in there. Now this ties it all together.
Mr. White loves this one.
This is a project that is near and dear to all of our hearts. So a high school student who graduated last year programmed a robotic toy for students with motor issues. So you can interact with it by sort of waving your hands, moving your body. You don't need any buttons to play with this toy. This student then wrote a college level paper about the process and then took what the student learned in high school, brought it to the elementary STEAM rooms, and used the students as focus groups. Not only using the students as focus groups to test out, but also taught them in a 40-minute lesson how he did what he did. He took what he learned in Plain Edge from K through 12, turnkeyed it back to the elementary school students, and taught them. It's so amazing. He's graduating, doing amazing things, and now those students have that experience from a senior who's graduated and moved on, really tying this all together, and a testament to the program that that student had and the future of the program in Plain Edge.
So as you heard, each year we have the opportunity to attend some technology conferences where we engage in our own professional learning that day and come back with new ideas. And we also frequently answer the call for proposals that the groups put out who are running the conferences. So we apply basically to present a workshop for other educators across the Long Island. And we're really proud that we're often chosen to present. And when we meet educators at conferences, or maybe they follow us on social media, or we know them, from different avenues, many times they've reached out and asked, could they come to Plain Edge and visit our STEAM studio and learn about our STEAM model? Up on the border are some of the districts that have visited us, possibly to get a foot to launch a STEAM program in their district, some to learn how to gain support for launching the program, and others have a STEAM program, but they want to enhance it. So we're really just proud to be leaders in the area and appreciate all the support from all of you to help make that happen.
So obviously, if there's questions from the board, is now the time, or did I cut you
No, you
off?
cut, she
I
paused,
cut you off,
she
I'm
paused
sorry.
we're almost done.
Sorry. I'll be quiet.
It was a long presentation.
Sorry.
Okay, so we hosted an asset event here recently last year, and you could see that there were over 20 districts. So if you look at the Apple, those are just some of the districts that were part of this that came here. And, we all collaborated to share STEAM learning experiences, and we had different workshops, so it was great. It was 3 different sessions, and the groups got to rotate, and truly just proud of all the work that the teachers do here, because without them, we couldn't make this happen. They had to learn all these new things. I'm sure if you ask one of them, they never coded before. They never worked with 3D printers before. They had to learn all of this in order to give these experiences to our students. And I am truly amazed. They never said anything. They're just like, all right, what can we learn more? What can we do next? What can we enhance for the following year? And these computer science and digital fluency standards really just keeps invigorating teachers now, not only the STEAM teachers, but across all the content and the collaboration amongst elementary, middle, high school, of teachers who would have never, like I said before, would have met each other in the past. It's just truly great work, and they just constantly look for new things, and I'm very proud to call them colleagues and that they work here in Plainage for our students. So thank you. I do want to say this, that this team here created a website that you can all view. Here, you could use the QR code, it's plainedgeteam.com. And again, amazing that they created this website by themselves for Plainedge, for parents, for educators, for everyone to look at the upcoming events, what they do. You'll see curriculum maps. And again, it's just all the teachers collaborating to do this. So thank you all. And now we are finished. So if you have any questions?
Do you have one?
I did, but I can.
Okay, I'll ask first. First question is in terms of the planetarium, the food that's grown, who takes that home?
The planetarium?
Greenhouse.
The
No,
greenhouse,
greenhouse.
sorry.
You said planetarium, then you said
Yes.
food grown.
I can tell you, I sneak in the summer over there and I fill up a little bag and then I leave.
So with the greenhouse, there's different,
Props.
different produce that is created, as well as you saw the marigolds and everything. So sometimes students get to take it home. We're also involved in the service learning projects now that you're tying with food banks, as well as Dr. Santori, you want to jump in on that one? 'Cause
So as far as service learning, we are going to grow different vegetables and herbs and plants. This was all the students' ideas. So we had students come in, do some research, find different ways we can help our community, and they're going to come in, grow different types of plants, and then we're going to actually set up a little farm stand. They called it like a lemonade style farm stand, and then we're going to put different things out so members in our community could just take it. So they thought that that would be a nice way to help our community. We're doing some other things with service learning as well. But that's the way we're tying the greenhouse piece in. And then, for example, greenhouse in pre-K, I teach the pre-K classes in the district. They dissected a pumpkin. We put the pumpkin in a jar. But we did this last year as well in STEAM, and it grows, it like decomposes, grows into a new pumpkin, and then we planted it outside in our outdoor garden. And then we had new pumpkins this year. And the pumpkins, again, we carved them, we took the seeds out. The students in pre-K planted their seeds, and the plants started to grow, and they actually started to go home today.
And to add on to that point, some parents actually come in on back to school and they're like, oh my gosh, I still got the succulent that's growing 2 years later.
the cucumbers are very good from East Point.
I think it's also from an instructional perspective, it's also good to note that specifically inside the elementary schools, it's not it's a co-taught environment where the stream teacher, and it's not a preparatory period, yet the teachers are working as well as the support staff for those classes that do have support staff members as part of them. So there could be as many as 3 or 4 people supporting the kids and their learning inside of that environment. Many places call them specials or enrichment, which, yes, this is very special and it's definitely enrichment, but it is part of the responsibility of both the regular ed teachers, special education teachers, to work collaboratively with the guidance of the STEAM and STREAM teachers. And I will tell you, we have a trickle-down effect. So as they design new lessons, obviously there's only so many hours and so many meeting sessions on an annual basis. The teachers actually embrace those, and they do those actually inside of their classroom, which is something that, is their comfort zone, because they've had the opportunity to basically have as a guide these lessons done. They participated inside of them, and then they basically own those, and they may integrate them inside of their ELA program or their science or their math program, depending on what the actual goals are and what the lessons goals were. So that's something that's very unique to our program. It's not a standalone program, it's an integrated program. And yes, the digital fluency is here. Those standards are required. And that's in a K-12 perspective. So it's important for us to understand that this strand is something that is required by the New York State Learning Standards, and that we have a lot of buy-in at this point in time. And remember, since we are on a normalized platform, we use Google Classroom. this information needed to be available. We need to, obviously, with the experience that we had with COVID, we need to be able to flip to remote learning. So it's an opportunity, for a communication tool between the home and the school. But it does not replace teachers ever. And the idea of the thought process is being further fueled by these ideas and tools that we have been exposed to here this evening. So I compliment them all for being creative and constantly creating new lessons and looking for new opportunities by attending professional development opportunities. And I will tell you about the Teacher Center. And, real quick story, the Teacher Center offers sometimes as many as 60 classes a year, and they are offered throughout the entire year, 12 months a year. And our teachers come running down to participate in those because they want to learn about these things and they want to be proficient. And not only proficient, they want their kids to be enjoying these opportunities to learn and expand their minds. So I compliment, obviously, our director who's here tonight, Ms. Deborah Fallon, who does an amazing job. Has a very large panel of people that do participate, representatives from the university, community, et cetera, that meet on a monthly basis that continue to define, opportunities for our teachers. And they continue to offer college credit bearing courses as well. So there's multiple opportunities there. She's very shy about this, but I'm not. She knows that I appreciate her hard work, and Deb and I have worked together now since the day I got here, and she's an amazing person and an amazing teacher. So every one of these people here is special in front of us here tonight. And I want to thank you all for presenting. Other questions from the board, obviously, at this time.
Some more. I don't need an answer on this right now because it's something I noticed while I was looking at the presentation. And probably does need someone to look into it. But with the Cadoyo AI, I know that personally identifiable information is not supposed to go out. And the search bar states to not enter PII. So I guess the question I have is, what if a kid actually does enter PII?
I can answer
Also, is there flags?
It scrubs
that. It scrubs it.
And it won't allow a child to do it and it will block it. So we
Perfect.
control.
So I could
it.
put Edward Selena,
And it will
139,
And
anytime,
it'll take it out.
and it will take it out. Yeah, no
then-
personally identifiable. It's got to be 2D compliant, and that goes through Dr. Levalian's office as well.
But yeah, I don't know what that means, but I just wanted to.
There are some AI engines that are not 2D compliant that we are aware of.
Like Google's right now, Gemini, which is about to come into play actually and in compliance. The recent conference that we attended, it's supposed to be in the next 6 months 2D compliant. I'm not really sure. I see, obviously, we have Mr. Larkin here, who's our data specialist. So Mike, have you heard anything about Gemini coming in at this point in time? Because I know that's part of, we don't include that at this point in time for use, but have you heard anything at your recent meetings on that?
Right now, yeah, they're not including it.
They're like 6 months out, so it's not in the Google suite. We don't
They're
know.
working on the Ed LCDs.
But this one, they cannot put in any type, and also the teacher has complete control and puts in parameters, so there is nothing that's going to.
So like an item that is of concern, let's say, like a red flag type item, let's say, is someone alerted to that? Like is,
Completely scrubbed. It will not allow kids to look up information that has nothing to do with
okay,
what the
great.
teacher's task is. So like if you're doing something on coding and you go, what is the height of Mount Everest? It's going to say that is not part of your assignment.
Right.
So this one is very teacher controlled. It's scrubbed. It won't let the kids put in any identifying features.
It's good to know. All right, that's it for me.
Anybody else? Mr. Reswell, you had a question?
I got like 4 or 5. So. Okay. All right. So, actually, Ms. Fallon was my computer teacher. And you should do a good job. We had floppy disk with Oregon Trail. So that was
I played Oregon Trail when I was a
Oregon
kid.
Trail. So I think she told me, well, I'm pretty good with computers now. So you did a great job. Very good. So I guess so back then I guess it was like one of the art periods, the gym periods. We went to you and we all sat at a computer station. We played Oregon Trail, whatever it is. I guess is it more of a? Are you nowadays doing more of a push in, or is it its own little 40-minute class?
As Dr. Selena had said, it's part of the teacher schedule. So the teacher comes and brings the class into the STEAM studios. The teacher stays with the STEAM teachers, and there's a block of time. We've tried different models in the past where it was once, we tried once a cycle and stuff, and the kids were, for a week, was not making the connection. So now there's a block of time, about 3 weeks, and then the next grade comes in, and the next grade comes in, and then they get the cycles because they're able to then really immerse themselves in that problem solving and that project-based learning. So it's not a special, it's part of their schedule.
The
So
3
that-
weeks every day they go, is that what you're saying, I guess, okay. All right, very good, and then coding at the pre-K level, so we got 4-year-olds and 5-year-old, is that Bebot, the little robot that follows a path, or what do they do at such a young age?
So yeah, so we started with our science experiment and our planting. We did Bebot. We usually do it in stations. We actually, each pre-K classroom has their own set of Bebots. So we introduced today, and this week, forward and backwards. And then we'll show them how to turn different directions, but then the teachers actually in their classroom are like, doing it afterwards. And then they come back in, and then we'll show them another skill. We have many robots. Ranger, the Code Mouse. So they'll get a chance to use many different things, but we do.
Same premise, I guess, on each one of them, like.
Yes, so
Press the
it's
buttons.
really teaching them commands and the algorithms and the start of that language. So for the pre-K student, forward and backwards, to us, that's
stuff,
very
yeah.
like, oh, okay, go forward. But to a pre-K student, you have to teach them, what does go forward mean? Forward means to step forward. So then they teach it both motion as well as coding. So it's taking that kinesthetic and then making it into the coding experience. So it's really amazing to hear kindergartners and first graders using algorithms and their vocabulary. The first time we started this, it was just truly amazing.
And to add on to that, the amount of students that asked, how is this robot spelled? They asked for it on a post, they could go home and ask for their birthday. They want to keep learning and keep growing with it, which is really.
I think I got that one.
The Kidoyo AI, what grade do they start getting into AI?
Well, we're going
Yeah.
to pilot that.
Okay.
We haven't started the pilot yet. It's brand new. So we're with the pilot, our teachers are going to be working with other teachers across Long Island to create assignments together in the different subject areas of ELA and social studies and computer science. And then, like we said, we'll be using it as part of the AP computer science principles course. So it's
So not elementary school is gonna be a.
So elementary is going to be part of the pilot as well, but again, we haven't started that. It's all part of a pilot. That's the beginning.
What else? And is the Kidoyo available at home? Like, can they download that at home and?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So
Like,
kids are, we were presenting when the teachers were presenting, the students love it. They go home, they come to them and say, look how much I did, because then you earn badges. And it's really exciting. They had a big kickoff event.
All right, now, like to me, I feel like computer science is kind of a niche thing. So I guess we'd have students who not really their cup of tea, computer science and coding and whatnot. I guess how we address it, because, you have 20 kids in a class. To me, it feels like,
In what particular course
but
are
like,
you talking about?
how do we reach the kids, I guess, that aren't grasping this, or it's not really?
So we
Yeah.
have definitely, built this from K on, so the students are almost ingrained with these skills that
Okay.
we were never ingrained with when we were younger.
Yeah,
We're
but-
learning as adults.
Like, I feel like in high school, you were either, you're a computer
So the thing is,
geared kid, or you weren't a computer geared kid, I guess, so yes.
so in entering high school, they're all going to have the intro to computer science course that will cover all the 9 through 12 computer standards. So we are ensuring that all of our students are getting what any New York state student is required to get. And then from there, if that really sparks their interest, because if you saw those 5 bands that they had talked about, they will get their pieces of each one of those. And then if they like that, then we have the different courses that Mr. White had talked about in the CTE program that they can continue on.
It just to add on to that, one of the courses that was in one of the slides, the driver's seat of learning. It's amazing the technical requirements that could be on certain projects, but students really go into the driver's seat of their learning, where we could give them a specific requirements, but they could pursue passions in whatever they'd like. So for example, the arcade games, students were given specific parameters and they created these amazing arcade games in Bloxels, about forests and caves and different things in Bloxels and in arcade games. They created things like basketball, they created things like soccer and hockey and skee ball and movies. And so even though there's these specific technical requirements, they're allowed to pursue their passions, and it's amazing to see them pursue their passions with these.
That's good. It's in that way adjustable. I don't know if that's the right word, but it kind of, you can make it your own, you're saying, I guess. That's good. Thank you very much. That's all my questions. Thank you a lot.
Now, I just wanted to talk about the backward and forward, just language like that is so important for reading and language development. So I'm so happy, like, children just need to talk so much, and I know they do it there. And now I know why on my Christmas list, it's a snap circuit. It's like snap circuit, where am I getting snap circuit? And I mean, my daughter is always playing Kadoyo. She's excited to show us how, and you know, I'm like you, Doug, I don't really understand it. Like, they really have to teach me, but I'm just, you know how I feel. I'm just so proud of what we do here, and it really is not known. Thank you. Oh,
I gotta, I'll shorten it up. Feel like we've been here a long time. Sure you do. You guys are standing. It's exciting to see people trying to jump out of their shoes to answer questions. So I see there's a lot of passion there. I love to hear schools coming in and we're collaborating with other schools. Don't need New York State to make us do that. State standards for New York State computer science, digital fluency. So these are new state standards, right? Because I think I missed some of this. So the state is coming in and now saying, hey, even though like Plain Edge has really been a leader in this, we're going to make sure every kid in New York State meets some minimum standard. But it seems like we haven't really had to add much or do anything all that differently to meet those standards. Would that be close?
As you saw at the beginning of the presentation, when it started rolling out was in 2020, and that's when we were diving into it and seeing, because it gave an amount of time for districts to be able to do it. And yes, we were at the forefront. So this made it very easy for us as we were diving in. And that's when the teams of teachers met and said, oh, we're already doing this one. We're already doing this one. And because it's not grade specific, it's a band. That's how they dissected it. So they went band by band saying the library media specialists already do this. We already do this. The classroom teacher already does this. Which are the ones that we don't have necessarily, and how are we going to get there? And that's what we did. So that's why this year we have ensured that that every student, every grade band will have those computer science digital fluency standards.
And then I don't know if it's necessarily a question, but it sort of is. How do we protect, I guess, project creep, right? So you're ingraining in the normal lessons in the normal course of business for teaching students this technology and these standards. I get really excited when my kids take out a book from the library though. Like for some reason that's fun. Pen and paper on the side and they try to do some math. Are we keeping an eye on making sure we don't march into technology so quickly and leave some of the other good stuff behind?
Well, if you see, when they were talking about the engineering challenge and design with the Billy Goat Gruff example here, you know, it's talking about developing a plan and steps. So not everything is necessarily in that digital platform. They are going back and forth. So just like the arcade games, right? The students love Bloxels. I think it's amazing. I actually want to learn how to create my own video game using Bloxels. And the students have sat down and taught some of us, even at a board meeting, of how to create a character using it. But then we also are doing the engineer design with the cardboard arcade games. So they are blending the two to fit all the different standards.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Great.
Congratulations, everyone. Great job.
I stole his.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
Oh.
got my answer, so that's,
Okay.
thank you. Okay, moving on to, section 5 of, the business agenda for items 1 through 26. Do we have a motion to approve? Marcy, second. Mr. Garcia, all in favor?
All in favor, motion carried.
Sorry.
Section 6, pride and planning, opportunity for board members to present on attendance participation at school and or community events.
Had the opportunity to attend a number of community events recently. I want to compliment first Bobcats cheerleading. They hosted a showcase at Brian White Athletic Center, which was truly plain edge. But with the number of competitions that have been canceled and consolidated, it was an extra opportunity for the girls to get out there and do what they love and show their families and the community how hard they've been working in advance of the cheer program. And it was a wonderful day, well organized, well run, and compliments to everybody. Also the passing the torch event, I was able to go with my kindergartner. That was she had a blast. That was it was a new tradition, the one that I think went over very well. And then literally earlier today, I ran here from the district art show, and as always, want to compliment our teachers. We were blown away by the quality of the work. Of course, a certain little redheaded fifth grader had my favorite paint and my favorite piece of artwork, but compliments to everybody. It's really a wonderful event as always.
Anyone else?
So I was able to attend the varsity girls and boys soccer finals. Unfortunately, both teams lost this year, but they had great seasons. And they really had a close game on the last game. They lost the last minute of the game. So exciting to see them. And we have some real good soccer players that are going to attend some good colleges with scholarships. So it's nice to see.
Anyone else have anything to add?
I too was at that cheerleading showcase. First I'm seeing little cheerleaders to me is just the sweetest thing ever. They're adorable, but it's so nice to see that we have the space in the district to share with the community. And like, they absolutely show their stuff, those cheerleaders. So I look forward to seeing them as they grow. And then I was able to attend the opening of our Plain Edge Perk at the high school, where I believe Mr. Santa Maria's Computer Science created the logo for Plain Edge Perk and the cups so that was really, it's hard for me to get up that early. I'm not a high school teacher. I'm an elementary teacher, but I did, and I was so happy to be there. And then I just want to give kudos to Jen Thurl and Coach Shaver for spearheading the kindergarten to senior game. I heard that was, it was talked about for a while, and I was so happy to see them get it because it was adorable to see the size. But what I love most was seeing those high school seniors. I mean, they're taught, they had to be, whether it's from these parents or from their teachers, but they were taught how to get down to kindergarten level and talk to them. And they all did it so well. And lastly, I'll finish up with thanking the high school teachers, administration, and staff for a great parent-teacher night. As an elementary teacher, I get time to talk. I get 20 minutes, thankfully, because 5 minutes is no joke. Like, they know what they're going to say. They say it to you. And I think, and they run. I know the middle school too. They run very on time. I'm really impressed with that. So thank you all for having time to meet with us as parents. And I look forward to the middle school and elementary school back to school parent-teacher conference nights. That's a wrap.
I was customer one over at Plain Edge Perk. I thought you had to be there at 7:30, so I got there at 7:15. They were like trying to make the coffee machine work faster, which doesn't work. But I got to bring some home to my wife, and it was they did a great job. Pass the Torch was awesome. I can't wait to see Olivia do that. I hope that happens next year and she gets to do that. I don't know. There's like a million things, lots of things to be prideful. Commerce Plaza, we got to do. I saw Mike there this morning. So if you don't know, fifth graders get to go to Commerce Plaza over in Levittown. And it's like safety town for business. They get to do a job as a business, and it's I got to stay longer today. So they learn how to write a check, they learn how to do a P&L, they have to pay themselves a salary, and your kids are good at negotiating. They're negotiating leases and insurance. The bankers were trying to talk the real estate agent into lower rent. I was like, this is my life. I could just hang out here. So really well done by parents who are volunteering, the teachers put that together, and yes, that runs Commerce Plaza.
I have to wish, we're all missing the football game tonight, so I want to wish our guys.
21-14, by the way.
What, the
For
winning
the bad
21?
guys.
Okay,
The bad guys.
oh. Well.
Last minute Hail Mary going into halftime, but we'll get them in the second half.
Okay, all right, that's good to know the update. I was, gonna wish them luck. Really cute event happened here at the high school. The high school clubs, they hosted a safe Halloween for the elementary school kids. It was adorable, so, really nice. It's gonna be nice to see that program grow. Very cute for the kids. I know the high school students, they were really engaged with the little ones, which was nice, you know? So it's good to see those two generations interacting with each other. What else we have? We all went to the New York State School Board Association conference or convention. And sat in on a lot of meetings there, got some great ideas from fellow board members from around the state, so that was very fruitful. And I attended Plaintiff's Park too. I got my coffee before work and the kids did a great job and they're gonna learn good business skills doing that and customer service, and it's all great things to learn as a high school kid, so it's good. Good stuff here in Plaintiff.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I attended a lot of the same events. With respect to passing the torch, also just want to thank the PTA because I know they were involved as well. And they're indispensable in making sure that a lot of school events go off without a hitch and are done at a high level of production. So thank you to them as well. If there's no other comments, I guess we'll move on to the next section. Okay. Section 7, old business. Open board seat update. With respect to the open board seat update, we received 8 resumes. The board met in executive session, as required, and, through that process, we selected 4 candidates to come back, which we will be holding an interview, for those 4 individuals on the 19th. Once that's done, we pick, assuming that the first interview is enough, once that's done, we'll have a walk-in, walk-out resolution passed on the 25th. What, it's 25th, right? The 25th, and then that board member will be sworn in at the next Board of Ed meeting, which I believe is December 5th.
Yes.
This, okay, good, my date's right. So that's the update on the open board seat. Regionalization update. Do you want to start or?
Sure, I mean, I can start with some.
Yeah, I'll jump into what I.
You know, as, you know, I think anyone who's been following it knows the Board of Regents, extended the emergency rule, and expect it to be permanent, either in December or January. They also, had their new rule, that empowers the BOCES district superintendent to compel component district superintendents to act in certain ways. I just urge everybody to go to the New York State Register and read the actual language. The state, people might have noticed, the state actually changed the website and how they framed a lot of the conversation. But on board, if you Google on board, they have an article from September 23rd that lays out state position from the beginning. I urge everyone to read the State Register, see the actual language in the emergency rule. It really is quite stark. And there's no opt-out whatsoever available in the emergency rule. But I know that we have a matter to discuss.
Yep. So as a result of regionalization, I think the board, as everyone's aware, had put forth a letter opposing it. I think we're looking to, or I'm going to the board asking that we go to the next level with this and proceed with an Article 78 proceeding, which is, and I'll just read this so I don't miss anything. An Article 78 proceeding is a civil lawsuit in New York State Supreme Court that challenges the legality of a state or local government's actions or decisions. The term comes from Article 78 of the New York Civil Practice Law and Rules, which outlines the rules for these types of cases. The Article 78 will challenge the legality of the action by state ed and hopefully stop the action from moving forward. Accordingly, the point of this following is to fight against the administrative process deployed, which plaintiffs in coordination with other school districts are stating that regionalization rollout has been flawed from the outset. Accordingly, the basis of this legal fight is not going to require a lot of experience with ed law. It is not to say that there isn't an aspect to ed law to the suit, but it's minimal. Sorry, computer just went. But it's minimal and is not the basis for the argument in this challenge. Mr. Nick Regano does have expertise in environmental law, which is a heavily regulated area that requires significant in-depth knowledge of administrative procedural law. He's well qualified to take this case. In terms of his ed law experience, he had provided pro bono work to school districts to fight against the mask mandates in 2022. The anticipated high-end cost of the initial filing and possible appeals is expected to be at most $125,000. We would, if we proceed with his resolution to retain him, would be the 5th district after Locust Valley, Cold Spring Harbor, East Meadow, and Oyster Bay to pass a resolution to retain Regano LLC. Therefore, the planned share of legal bad waste in the current member schools would be at most $25,000, and the plan is to file by next Friday. So I'm putting that to the board for discussion to see if we'd like to retain Regano LLC to represent us along with the other school districts to file these Article 78 proceedings.
So I think we should do as much as we can to push back against this regionalization plan. I think it's bad for Plainedge. I think it's bad for our district, our students. It'll take opportunities away from our students in order to create opportunities for students of other districts. And that's New York State's job, not Plainedge and the Plainedge taxpayers' job. And I think this would be a good investment in pushing back the state rule that would be much more expensive to our school and our district and our community.
I'm all for fighting this emergency resolution from the Board of Regents. It's silly, so I'm all for fighting this.
So my personal opinion again is one of the things that is something that I wrestle with is obviously we have a superintendent. I don't think we need a superintendent of superintendents. And we trust our superintendent to run our school. And I think he does a good job with that. And so having someone having the ability to potentially supersede, I find that to be troubling. In addition to that, as we saw today, we invested a lot of time and effort into putting wonderful programs out. That's funded by our taxpayers for use by our students. And as much as we are willing to share the great things we do in Plainedge, when you have people from outside the district just being able to get our materials, the things that all the hardworking people in Plainedge pay their taxes for to support our schools, I think that's unfair to our taxpayer. We've done a good job of being able to manage our money, and maybe other school districts have not had that same type of leadership. And so I just don't think that this is really the right approach. And so my point would be to fight this as well. Yeah.
So I'm definitely against the reorganization. It's a quick way for them to change the way we operate, put us like New York City or Buffalo or those areas. I'm just not sure this is the right law firm to use during the masks. They didn't win, they lost badly, and the cost was very high to school districts, much higher than was anticipated. If we go down this route, we use firm, we definitely should put a price cap on. I know you said the most is 25,000, but in the resolution, it doesn't have a price.
Right.
So I think we need to put that in there and have a cap somewhere, so it doesn't get out of control.
Is there a number that you have in mind?
Well, he put in there an hourly rate of $350 an hour. I think we should cap it at we should come up with something that we say, we're willing to invest $50,000 and that's it. So.
I'm comfortable with that number, Mr. Paris's number as well, as a cap.
I'm not really comfortable spending our taxpayer dollars for this. Now, mind you, I'm a teacher and I wholeheartedly am against the vision of what it could be like. I don't think the vision of what it could be like is actually what's presented. A couple of reasons. One, during masking time, Massapequa, Locust Valley, they did the same thing and they footed the bill for this, but yet we would all benefit. Unfortunately, the case was thrown out because they couldn't do that and they lost a lot of money. So even if the case went to fruition, we would have benefited. Long Island schools would have benefited. And I believe that Locust Valley has money like nobody else. Like, so they'll always do things and that's Locust Valley. I just am very concerned about taking our taxpayer dollars to give to an attorney who's referred to us referred to you through Locust Valley. He's not an education law. I'm just uncomfortable with him a little bit as well, because he's not education law, and education versus the state has its own little dynamic. So while I was very happy to write a letter in opposition to it, I am a teacher. I don't want any part of New York City schools on Long Island, but I don't think Long Island schools do. I don't think the teachers unions do. I think there's so many things that I just don't think it's a good use of our taxpayer dollars. And while yes, $350 an hour, but how many billable hours? How many appeals? Like you even mentioned it. How many appeals? We don't know. I just think, and they always say they're, with the mask, they said the same thing. Oh, we're gonna have 10 to 20 schools jump on board. There were like 5. So I think we will benefit from them taking the lead. I don't know why we would have to, because I just don't see why we have to spend our community's money on it.
So, I mean, I understand the point of that. I think, $25,000, when you talk about $100 million plus budget, in addition to the fact that we had $11 million in excess money, when you could look at budget to actuals last year, whether it's revenue and expenses collectively, is a small number to protect the interests of our residents. I think and I didn't do the math, but if you take $25,000, let's say, and divide it by the 6,500 households here, I think, and again, this is my opinion, but I think most residents would be comfortable with that, knowing that we're protecting our interests. In terms of the number of appeals, my point would be that my understanding is just probably one appeal. You file, and then if you need to, you appeal, and the all-in number would be about 125,000. With respect of, just relying on other districts to foot the bill alone, even though we're a beneficiary, I guess that's an approach we can take, but I think also believing in the fact that sometimes you have to lead the way, and lead the charge in a fight. And I think of Plainedge as a leadership type district. We're on the forefront of things, as we saw with technology. We should be on the forefront of fighting bad state mandates. And so I think that there's no issue with us being there to help lead the charge on something like this.
And in reading a lot about this, I think there's a hope as well that with enough districts, of course, the number for Plainedge goes down as well as it does for other districts. But it's also a little bit of a stronger statement if you end up with several districts that are leading in the lawsuit instead of just hoping for the results, that the state could end up, to avoid litigation, avoid losing in court, or at least having the prospect of losing in court, adjust the rule and hopefully letting it expire, and not getting into post-election things. They've already shown that our region has already said and tried to adjust the language. I feel like there's already an appetite for them to neuter the rule to something that's more palatable for everybody, add an opt-out. And I think that by joining and leading with a lawsuit, the chances of that go up. Ultimately, losing seats in our district and our classes to kids from other classes, school districts, that's an expensive proposition for our community, and investing in keeping that from happening, I think would be good. If this is something that the state needs, it should be borne out by the state taxpayers, not by the Plainedge taxpayers.
I think everyone knows where I stand on this, and back to what you've said and what Mr. Garcia said, in Plainedge, we teach our students to lead the pride. We would pride in Plainedge, and I think that it's something that we've already established ourselves as a leader with the letter. Mr. Garcia mentioned Region 2 has already tried to adjust the language and was shut down, and that purely came out of the fact that so many districts on the islands have already publicly stated their opposition to regionalization. I think maybe a possible way forward for us here to address some of the concerns that Mr. Paris had raised, what would be to put some of those stops in a retainer agreement with Mr. Regano. You had mentioned that, I guess he does specialize in environmental law, he has experience in educational law, but, environmental law is very, very highly regulated, very administrative focused, and see, would be saying more broadly, his expertise would be said to be in administrative, and this is really challenging the administrative process that was used. I mean, at the end of the day, we all ran for these positions, we all got involved in the schools because we believe that every child deserves access to a high quality education. I don't think that anyone could sit here and say that the broad overarching goals of the process are misplaced, ill intentions, or undeserving. It's a matter of how you go about it, and I could point to the new Blue Ribbon Commission standards for graduation. Whether you like the new standards or not, and they're still refining them, there was a multi-year process that was undertaken by the state that involved listening to words throughout the state, that involved multiple presentations, multiple hearings. There's a way that you can go about this that could address concerns constructively, accept the constructive criticism from all stakeholders throughout the state. So, I'm wondering if, since we have our we have a meeting scheduled for next Tuesday to interview the candidates for the open board seat. I wonder if that's an opportunity for us to revisit the retainer and resolution to address some of the concerns, valid concerns that were raised regarding the potential costs, because we do have a fiduciary responsibility, and we want to make sure that we are, mindful of those concerns as well.
I'm for helping lead the fight against this, and I'm in favor of Mr. Paris's recommendation for the cap. So, yeah.
Okay, so I think there is some mixed feelings about this. But I think the majority of the board seems like we would want to move forward with Article 78 with some sort of cap in the resolution and retainer agreement with Mr. Regano. Is there a number that we're comfortable with? I mean, if it, at most 50,000?
I think that's a good spot.
Minutes could go on for 2 years, so.
Okay. All right, so then I will go back to Mr. Regano with that feedback. And then since we do have a board meeting on the 19th, we'll incorporate that as part of the board meeting discussion. Okay, thank you. Number 3, community progress update. I think. Thank you.
Yes. Security, public school, Plains Public Schools is working on establishing an exploratory committee to research and review the impact of armed security on our campus. The committee structure was viewed at the October board meeting, and a consensus of the board was reached to move forward with this committee. We've been working on soliciting feedback on the draft interest survey and finalizing the survey in order to select committee members as outlined in the implementation plan. The interest survey should be finalized and released on or about November 22nd, so we can begin to get the community's feedback. And then we'll move forward in the next process as part of that, so we can get that started and up and running. Policy Review Committee, the Board of Education Advisory Committee will be responsible for the regular review and updating of the Board of Education policies in collaboration, Central Administration and Legal Counsel from Ingham and Smith. Policy Review Committee was reviewed at the October board meeting. Consensus of the board is reached to move forward to committee. The information's been communicated to Ms. Sadowski. I did touch base with her today via email again. And obviously December and this month are filling up really fast for where everybody is at this point in time, but I gave her 2 months to see if there's any dates inside of there. I know the board has a lot of meetings already, but so it should happen and start no later than January. That actual committee itself is what I would estimate at this point in time, but I need her to give us back the dates. I've given her the calendar of the commitments the board currently has and evening events, which may involve some of your children and such. So we should be able to get this process started. It's and yes, as you described earlier, initially be an on-site, and then from there it'll be a blending of remote and on-site as needed. So we're underway on that one as well. I hope that answers the questions about committees thus far. And there are other committees actually coming, but we're not there yet. So let's get these up and running, and we'll continue to move on this.
What, capital planning, was there out there, we'd also launched a capital and strategic planning committee in October.
There was in October, but there's been no work done on it at this point in time. All right, so you'll hear more about it next month.
So just quick refresher on if you recall, if not, that's fine. I think for the policy committee, again, like most of the committee, you have chairpersons and vice chairs, et cetera.
Yes.
Should we, understanding that January will be here and we have a December meeting, should we maybe at the December meeting, I think we should vote as a board as to who should be the chairperson of the policy committee? Or
There's no voting required for that.
just a consensus?
It's, so I'll go over the process again.
Sure.
I'd like to review it first before I comment on it. I know that there was a lottery and then there was, that opportunity, and this, of course, the board will have to weigh in on that, of course.
I think the policy committee though is just board, right?
Yeah, I thought, yeah.
Policy committee is just a board, so I'm gonna
That's
send
what
out a
it's for.
survey for people who are interested, and the board will select. And that's going out on Monday, so anyway.
Okay, got it.
So
Sorry.
there'll be a short survey that'll come out to board members, any and all interested board members that would like to participate, obviously are invited.
Okay.
And that's,
Yeah, that was my
ultimately, the
question.
board needs to decide.
And this is.
And you want to spread yourself around, because obviously there's a lot of work to be done. But if that's an interest of yours, obviously the board has a final decision about how that'll operate. But everyone will have an opportunity to express their opinion and share that with president of the board, and ultimately come up with some type of decision about how we're moving forward and who's going to participate.
Great, thank you.
I'm sorry I didn't
I don't know
clarify
if
that.
anyone else has any other questions? No, okay. Informational reports, are there, section 7, any question on any of the informational reports? No? Okay, moving on to, section 9, opportunity for public comment. We ask that all comments are directed to the Board of Education president. We kindly ask each speaker to limit the time speaking to 2 minutes in total. Each speaker is asked to use the microphone and clearly state their intent.
Good evening, everyone. Perry Fuchs. I don't know if it's on. I can speak loud. Perry Fuchs, President of Planned Federation of Teachers. I want to talk about the New York State Regionalization Plan. On October 28th, I had the privilege of attending a conference that was, thank you, that was attended by about 100 union presidents, all teacher union presidents from across Long Island. And we were very concerned. The reason we were very concerned is we too do not like the idea of what NYSID has proposed. We asked our leaders at NYSIT, New York State United Teachers, who are experts for decades of working with state ed. And we asked them to come and address us and say, what is going on here? And so on October 28th, the basic message that I got from our leaders at NYSIT was, we have no idea what the state's doing. We are trying to analyze and figure out what effect this would actually have on school districts. And we'll get back to you. About a week later, I'm not sure if the board is aware, New York State Education Department, and NYSID sound very similar. New York State Education Department put an FAQ out, frequently asked questions, frequently answered questions, asked questions, about their plan. So I don't know if you're aware of this, but I want to read some excerpts that are, and I'll be very quick, that are really important. So again, and I'll gladly send this to you, Mr. Bayruti, the link so you can peruse their own website. So NYSID has no intention of forcing local school districts reorganization or creating regional districts operated by BOCES. So that, I highlighted that one. That one is actually highlighted by our state union too. And then here's really quick what it is. The Regionalization Initiative is a collaborative regional planning approach for local districts to communicate what they need in order to address student needs and operational efficiencies grounded in a process of periodic needs assessment and cross-district conversations. That's, again, according to state ed. What it is not. The Reorganization Initiative is not about reorganizing, nor does it mandate districts participate in particular activities under regional planning. This is not a one-size-fits-all approach to creating opportunities for students. New York State's educational landscape already features many different examples of partnerships across schools and districts, as well as existing regional infrastructures that offer support as cross-district contracts and board of cooperative Education Services, BOCES. PFT, I want to make this very clear. Our council met last night. We are 100% opposed to districts being forced to work together. But as far as we can tell, that is not what is happening here. Now, it is also possible that it may be a reallocation of funds. Everyone I'm talking to seems to think that's probably where they're going, but we really don't know yet. We don't know what the state is going to do. And what we can tell based on all the literature, that it is not a reorganization of the school districts. And actually, the lawyers from New York State United Teachers actually informed us at that meeting that in order to actually do that, it would require legislative action. In other words, the state doesn't have the power to force us to merge with anyone. So I just want to be clear so that everyone understands what it is and what it's not. So my concern for the Board of Ed is that you now talking about spending a lot of money. And I agree, this district is thankfully, because of Dr. Selena and Mr. Perazzo and Dr. LaValliant and Dr. DePill and Ms. Honeyman, we are doing very well. However, $50,000 is a lot of money. That's a lot of money that can go towards children's programs, towards hiring staff. The last time that this was happening, Mr. Parrish brought this up, Massapequa and Locust Valley, I want to give you a real number. You spent I apologize, you spent over $500,000 and the state dismissed it, okay? So they literally took $500,000 and lit it on fire. I would urge this board to please reconsider spending $50,000 of taxpayer money. It's not my money. However, I do live locally, I pay taxes too, I pay very high taxes actually. And the truth is, if this was happening in my district, I'd be furious with my board spending hard-earned my money on something that's I'm telling you right now, there's no question about it. The attorney you want to hire is probably, he's very happy to take your money. But if you ask any other attorney, they'll tell you this lawsuit is going nowhere. Let it play out. Let's advocate. The counselor of the PFT last night said we need to advocate for local control. We want local control on all levels. We don't want the state interfering with the great stuff we're doing here in Plain Edge, but this lawsuit will not protect us. It's just going to light $50,000 on fire. So please reconsider. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hey, Cussman, local Plain Edge resident. Sort of following up with what Harry was saying and what Ray and Jennifer were talking about. This particular, has anybody vetted any of the law firms about this? I mean, great, this guy's ready to take our money, he's ready to go do it, but have we approached any other law firms or have any other school districts approached other law firms and gotten their input about what's the likelihood of being able to progress in the courts with this? I mean, if you're going to spend the money, let's do due diligence in terms of reaching out to other potential firms that could tell you maybe something different. Don't do it, or take a different approach in doing it. But it's a lot of money to spend without doing any due diligence on the board's part.
So normally I don't like to go back and forth on items. With respect to this, a lot of the ed law firms are actually conflicted out from being able to pursue this because they will have school districts that might be in favor of regionalization as well as school districts that are not. So you can't represent both sides of that.
Sure. And
our law firm also is conflicted out, the one that we generally use for other reasons as well, when I spoke to general counsel. So in terms of identifying a lawyer, this lawyer is a litigator. He's very well versed in administrative procedural law, which is what this deals with a sprinkling of ed law. And his qualifications match that. So that's why, 4 school districts already have decided to proceed with it. You can be the 5th. there's discussions of another, of additional districts, whether they join or not, you know, is up to them when they get to have their board meetings. But these are the facts as they are today, and so that's what I was presenting to the board.
Right, and that's what.
That's just so that people are aware of what has been done. That's what.
But what has, maybe if I'm mishearing you, has this board said, okay, we're gonna do this, have we as the board found out and approached other law firms, other than the ones that we know are disqualified from participating because of prior conflicts?
I mean, I spoke to our lawyer and, you know, that was the advice he told us. A lot of the ed law firms on Long Island are gonna be conflicted out. So the question is, who would you go to next? We know that he's an expert in administrative procedural law, that he's dealt with ed law in the past. And so that's what we're pursuing here. I mean, we could interview 100 law firms. And that's fine, but also we're looking to file this by the 22nd next week. There's not a lot of time there. And, you know, it's not like our lawyer went and said, hey, Joe, you know, go talk to these other law firms. He didn't recommend any because he said that the ed law firms are conflicted out. And so this law firm came to us by speaking to other school districts. And we looked into them and he seemed fine.
I'm not doubting his integrity or what he's, you know, that he's doing anything dishonest. I'm just talking about is looking at other options. And if you said you've looked at other options, if you've talked to other law firms, then you have, but that's my feeling on it. If you're gonna spend the money, make sure you're getting, you know, the real deal. We're getting your items. All right? All right, there you go.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? With that, we'll go to adjourn the meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting? Pascarella, second. Mr. Garcia, all in favor?
All in favor, motion carried.
Thank you.